Hey, what's up, everybody? Catechism question 17. Can you believe it or not? What is idolatry? Not to be confused with adultery, but what is idolatry? I was thinking about this question today, and I thought, for a long time growing up in church, when I first got saved and early in church, I thought that idolatry and adultery were the same thing. I just thought the preacher was mispronouncing it. And then when I did learn that idolatry and adultery were two different things, I thought, well, idolatry is just for people in the Old Testament. We're in the New Testament. We don't have any issues with it. And that's not true either. And then it's not been until just recent years that I've really got a full understanding or more of a robust understanding of what idolatry really is. So the answer, idolatry is trusting in created things rather than the Creator for our hope and happiness, significance, and security. Romans 1:21, for although they knew God, they did not honor him as God or give thanks to him, but they became futile in their thinking, and their foolish hearts were darkened. And then verse 25 of Romans 1, they exchanged, and this is the big piece of what idolatry is, they exchanged the truth about God for a lie. And then the big piece that we'll talk about, worshipped and served the creature rather than the Creator. Worship and serve the creature rather than Creator. So just a real quick understanding, idolatry is when we take and we begin to worship the created things, the things under the sun, the things that we see, taste, touch. We begin to worship those things rather than the Creator of those things. We exchange worship from God to the things that we have on the earth. I referenced this it's been months probably now ago, but I referenced this book, Counterfeit Gods, when talking about idolatry by Tim Keller. If you're intrigued about what you're hearing tonight, I would strongly advise you to go buy this book. He does a great job in this book talking about idols in the current American culture. And so let's chat. So here's the deal. Anytime that we take something on the earth and under the sun, and we exalt it to a place of worship over God, that is what idolatry is. Idolatry is not just some remote village in another country where they're sacrificing chickens on a splattering blood on an altar of a foreign god. That's not only what idolatry is. Idolatry is exchanging the worship of something here for the worship of God. And so what can that, or what does that look like? The thing that I want to continue to reiterate through these examples is, what are you worshiping, or who are you worshiping? And so let's take the first, some of what they talk about is money, work, these types of things. How can a Christian begin to worship work over God? Well, it's real simple. When we look at work, i.e., things that provide us money or income, as the source of our status, or the source of our strength and what is sustaining us, we then enter into idolatry of work. We have to constantly remind ourselves, or ask ourselves, are we worshiping God, or are we worshiping work? And there is nothing that will really rattle that more than the threat of losing your job. If you're under a threat of losing your job, you really get to feel the weight of whether you're worshiping God or are you worshiping your work. And so in those moments, you get to come face to face with where your heart is and where your worship is. Now, most of us, in a very common, if nothing's shakable, we're all going to say as Christians, hey, we're worshiping God, and we're not worshiping our job, we're not worshiping our income. But at the threat of those things being taken away, you can begin to see where your heart's at. In addition to that, you can see what we worship in the amount of debt that we accumulate. When we're willing to go into massive amounts of debt, it shows that we really value whatever it is that we're buying. Now, I'm not here to say that all debt is sin. That's not what I mean. But when we overcommit ourselves financially to certain things, and we're unable to take care of the things that God, like I've heard people tell me, I can't afford to tithe. And what they mean by that is they're financially obligated to the point that trying to tithe just seems impossible to them. And so when we are willing to spend our monies on particular things that actually even can put us in a financial bind, it's a sign of how bad we really want something. And so it's a sign of idolatry. I've been pretty open about my wrestle with vehicles and things like that. At first it seemed cute, but in the end, when you're willing to go into massive amounts of debt and you're willing to do these things, again, I'm not saying a car payment is sin. Let me be clear. However, when we're over obligating ourselves financially, you can see where our heart is and what our desire is, and so on and so on. Power, positions, and titles are the same way. Do you want a position or do you want to serve? Do you want a title or do you want to? Why do you want that position? Why are we clamoring for that position? Why do we want it? Do we want it because God's calling us to it and we feel like it's an opportunity for us to serve others? Or are we wanting it so that people will look at us and see us as being in that position and having that title? Is it about us or is it about Him? Sexuality plays out this same way, whether it's and some of you may be wrestling with this. Maybe you're wrestling with your gender and your identity and your sexual persuasion. Maybe you're wrestling with that. The question to ask is my pursuit of my sexuality, is it about me or is it about the Lord? I know marriages will get into tension over the bedroom, about sex, about sexuality, and the question that we all have to ask is in this way, in my marriage, in this way, this sexual orientation, this idea about sex, is it about me or is it about the Lord? Am I worshiping me? Am I wanting my needs met? Or is this about who God's called me to be and what He wants me to do and who He's called me to be? And again, for those of you who are single, pornography and is it about my pleasure or is it about God? Am I worshiping my pleasure or am I worshiping the Lord? Who am I worshiping? That's what this whole section on idolatry is all about. Today, during our workout, it was a difficult workout this morning, and I got in the middle of it, and there were a couple of things that happened. One is it was really difficult to do, and so I felt like cheating. Okay, I felt like we had to do. To give you an idea, we had to run 300 meters, come back, and then we did 20 50-pound, two 50-pound step-back lunges, and then 10 burpees. And you did 6 rounds of that. Well, in about the third round, I didn't want to do 20 step-back lunges anymore. I wanted to do 10. And so I wanted to cheat. I mean, just to be honest, I didn't want to do them all. And I felt the Holy Spirit say, who are you doing this for? Who are you doing this for? Is it for me so that I can look good in my time? Or am I doing it for the Lord? And this was and you say, why are you working out for the Lord? This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Who am I doing this for? If I'm doing it for the Lord, then I'm going to do all the reps. Because whether somebody knows I did all the reps or not doesn't matter. The way I look in front of somebody else is not the point. I'm doing this for the Lord, and the Lord knows the truth. And so if I'm doing it for the Lord, I just whispered, Lord, this is for you, so I didn't cheat. Let me give you the flip side of that coin. So it doesn't matter how you look. It matters that you did it for the Lord. It doesn't matter what the outcome is. The outcome you're looking for is that I did it for the Lord. I didn't let idolatry slip into my heart so that I could be worshiped in some way, right? Now, it plays out in successes as well. There reached a point where I was in front of I work out with Pastor Brad, so I and Coach Hal. Coach Hal wasn't there this morning, but I there was a point there where I was ahead of him, and I felt like, you know what, I can relax a little bit, slow down a little bit, and then I felt the same whisper, who are you doing this for? Who are you doing this for? Because if you're doing this for me, don't look at your partner, look at me and keep moving. You can achieve more than what you are necessarily by looking around you. You can find people that you could do this for and not achieve as much. Or you can do this for the Lord, keep your eyes on the Lord, and worship the Lord and continue to move towards your potential according to what you're able to do. And so I just felt the Lord whisper again, who are you doing this for? It's a metaphor for just who are we living for? Who are you living for? You living for you? Or are you living for the Lord? Are you living for your children? Or are you living for Jesus? Are you living for your job? You living for Jesus? What is idolatry? Idolatry is trusting in created things rather than the Creator for our hope and happiness, significance, and security. This world cannot provide what Jesus can provide. In some sort of way, all of these things leave us wanting. But the truth of the matter is that Jesus never leaves us wanting. Last thing, and I'll let you get into your discussion. Your heart is a worship factory. It's going to worship something. You're constantly worshiping something. So one of the greatest benefits you could get out of tonight is to hash through your heart in conversation tonight about what it is that you're worshiping. You worshiping your job? You worshiping, what are you tempted to be worshiping right now outside of Jesus? And hash through that, man. Own that. Bring it before the Lord and repent. And then turn and look and have conversation about what it looks like to worship the Lord in light of the season of life you're in. I love you. Sunday's Mother's Day, so I hope you're looking forward to that. But God bless you, and I'll see you real soon. God bless.